You don't get this hour back tomorrow. Ernest Shackleton's ship was crushed by ice in 1915, and for almost 2 years his crew survived cold, hunger, and darkness with no guarantee any of it would end. He wrote that the ordeal had pierced the veneer of outside things. They had reached the naked soul of man. That's not a metaphor about hardship. That's what's actually underneath the hour you're trying to avoid this morning. Here's what the snooze button never tells you. The hour doesn't vanish when you skip it. It goes and builds someone else instead. Vince Lombardi spent his career refusing to let that hour be optional. His whole doctrine, laid out in the speech What It Takes to Be Number One, comes down to this: winning isn't something you do occasionally when it's convenient. It's a habit built by doing the right thing every single time, not some of the time. And he was equally blunt about the flip side. Losing is a habit too, built the exact same way, one skipped hour at a time. He's not just describing champions. He's describing you right now in whichever direction this morning tips. He told his teams there was no room for second place. That settling for it was, in his words, a game for losers played by losers. That line sounds brutal until you translate it honestly. Sleeping through the hour that builds you isn't neutral. It's a vote for the second-place version of today, cast before the day even starts. Dan Gable put the same math on a wrestling mat. His own standard, the one he's repeated in interviews for decades, is that the grind of real wrestling recalibrates everything else in life beneath it. Once you've survived that level of difficulty, ordinary hardship stops registering as hard. He didn't mean the mat makes life painless. He meant the hour of real difficulty resets the scale for every other hour that follows it. Skip that 1 hour, and every hour after it stays exactly as hard as it always was. You never get the discount. And this is the part people skip past. Lombardi's most quoted image wasn't about winning at all. It was about the state you're in afterward. He described a man's finest hour as the moment he's given everything to a cause that mattered and stands there spent, having earned it. Read that again. The finest hour isn't the trophy. It's the exhaustion that earns it. If you never get exhausted on purpose, you never get the finest hour either. You just get an ordinary morning that felt easier and cost you the whole trade. Put the three side by side and the standard gets simple. The hour is not a warm-up. It's the whole account. Shackleton's crew didn't survive the Antarctic by hoping conditions would improve. They survived because his own standard for himself never dropped, regardless of what the ice was doing. The quality he prized most, by his own account, was optimism in the face of reverses, and he called that optimism true moral courage, not decoration. Difficulties, he said flatly, are just things to overcome after all. No drama. No negotiation with the cold. Lombardi's standard was procedural, not emotional. Winning is a habit, built one all-the-time choice at a time, never a mood you wait to feel like having. He wasn't asking his players to want it. He was asking them to do it, especially on the morning they didn't want to. And Gable's standard is the sharpest one, because it's the one that outlasts the room. Everything after the mat gets easy. Not because life gets softer, but because you already met something harder and didn't fold. The hour you almost skipped this morning is the exact hour that recalibrates every hour that follows it. None of the three are talking about talent. Shackleton wasn't the strongest man on that ice. Lombardi didn't inherit champions. He built the habit into ordinary players until it stopped being optional. Gable didn't get lucky at 181-1. Every one of them chose the hour on the mornings it would have been easier not to, and that choice is the entire standard. Nobody hands you the naked soul of man, or the habit of winning, or the wrestling mat that makes the rest of life easy. You go get the hour, or someone else gets built by it instead of you. Today you will take the 1 hour you'd normally shrink, delay, or skip, and you will give it the standard, not the mood, the standard all the time, not some of the time. Today you will treat the hardest part of your morning the way Gable treated the mat, as the thing that makes everything after it easier, not the obstacle to survive before the easy part starts. Today you will choose optimism as moral courage, not as a feeling. You don't wait to feel good about the hour, you decide, like Shackleton, that the difficulty is just a thing to overcome after all. The hour is happening either way. The only open question is which version of you it's going to build. Nobody at Iowa graded Gable's early mornings. Nobody stood on the ice with Shackleton to confirm the standard held. Lombardi's habit didn't need a witness to count. That's the actual order underneath all three. You build the hour when nobody's checking because the hour that's checked doesn't build anything, it just performs. Tonight, someone else runs the account on a day just like this one. Seneca, the bar of self, the weight you either earned or didn't. But that's tonight's ledger. This one's yours, right now. Win before they wake.